As a fan of Japanese animation, or anime, I have long heard many criticisms about the art and of people who enjoy it. People calling it childish because it's a cartoon, full of irritating tropes, and pervy. And as a fan, these comments are rather irritating to me. Even as some of these criticisms have points, I'm seeing more of an unfounded statements and clear bias than actual legitimate criticism. People who think that anime is childish because it's a cartoon, clearly have you ever seen Boondocks or Spawn? Or pervy because of the odd interest in a certain sea creature. While these aren't completely unfounded, it's also unresearched. Ask any respectable fan and they can name you at least 5 series with mature or dark themes, tones, or subject matters to enjoy. To all the naysayers, I'd like to recommend an anime that even detractors of anime can enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, men and women, children of all ages, my name is Jacob Wilson, and welcome to Wilson Reviews. Today, the 2013 anime by Wit Studio and Hajime Isayama, Attack on Titan. Let's begin. The year is 845 AD. Humanity has been nearly wiped out by these creatures called Titans. Not much is known about these creatures, nor why their preferred food choice is humans. All that's known is the fact that they do it for pleasure, and can only be killed by slicing out the back of their neck. And that their faces are frickin' creepy. To escape these monsters, humanity builds 3 walls called Rose, Maria, and Sina. For 100 years, these walls were successful in fending off the Titan horde, and kept the population safe. Until one day in the Shiganshina district of Wall Rose, when disaster strikes.
Talk to me! What's going on? Some kind of explosion or...
A Titan unlike any other appears and blasts a hole in the wall, leaving the town in ruins and the Titans controlling Wall Rose. After witnessing this, our protagonist, Eren Yeager, vows that he will join a special group of fighters called the Scout Corps and train himself so that he can finally take out every last one. Alongside his friends Mikasa and Armin, maybe the tide of battle can finally be turned against the Titans. If there's one word to describe the story of the show, then it would have to be intense. There is a huge sense of weight and impact to this show, and it actually has really big stakes. I mean, some of the biggest moments in the show are this simple character conflicts, like in the first episode when a soldier completely breaks down in front of a grieving mother. This is a dark and actually pretty bleak show, but it is also an action-packed thrill ride. It's a well-written, well-paced story with really rage-inducing cliffhangers that leave you craving the next episode. It's a story full of twists and turns that contains everything from your lighthearted moments to shit hits the fan moments. And believe me, there are a lot of shit hits the fan moments in this show. It's a story that really grabs you and absorbs you in this world. You want the characters to succeed, you want them to experience one moment of joy or hope or victory amongst all this disaster and carnage. Now, if I were to criticize the story, it would probably be with how it's presented. Sure, it's no secret that anime is a bit overdramatic sometimes, but...
Fight! Fight!
This isn't really an issue for me, as I found it actually added to the intensity and story of the show, but there does come a point when you hear so much screaming that the only thing you can think is, how does that actor still have a voice? Attack on Titan has nearly 50 or so characters. Well, that have names at least. Yes, there are many members of the Corps and the towns, but they die a lot. Oh, did I not mention that? Well, you know how in most anime you have those unstoppable characters that are just like over 9,000 and like will defeat anything no matter how stacked the deck is against them? That's not the case in this show. Characters die. They die a lot, and my gosh, just this show lets you know that they are dead. I mean, seriously, there's enough death in this show to make the writer of Game of Thrones take a chill pill. So if you get emotionally attached to fictional characters a bit too easy, you might want to be cautious of who you get invested to. So, for the sake of this fact, let's only talk about the 4 true main characters of the show. Starting with Armin Arlert, a childhood friend of characters Mikasa and Eren. He starts out as your average whiny character that doubts himself at every turn. but he also possesses a certain level of intelligence that makes him a very skilled tactician. Within the first 12 episodes, he saves the characters and squadron at least 4 different times, and over the course of the series, he eventually sees himself as a worthy member of the Corps and able to stand alongside his fellow squad members. Second is Mikasa Ackerman. At a young age, Mikasa was kidnapped and rescued by Eren. She's adopted into Eren's family after losing her family to the kidnappers. When she joins the Scouts, she reveals her true talents for basically being a Titan-killing machine. While most of the time she is very stoic and unemotive, that facade drops whenever Eren is involved. Since Eren is the only family she has anymore, she does anything she can to make sure he survives. Even if it puts herself in harm's way, she's strong and she knows it, and she'll do whatever it takes to protect the ones she cares about. Next is the leader of the Scout Corps, Levi. Much like Mikasa, he is very skilled at killing Titans. He also has his breaking points, mostly when his squad is in danger or if something needs cleaning. No, really. He's mostly jaded and cynical, as he is often made to do things like escorting crazy scientist Hanji or being the leader of a group of teenagers. He's become the fan favorite of the show, and he is certainly the most authoritative character in the show. However, he does genuinely care for his squad, and he always knows how to be a strong commander and make the best decision in any situation. Finally is our true main character, Eren Yeager. As a young boy, Eren wanted to join the Scout Corps so he could see beyond the walls and take back the land taken from them. But then the Colossal Titan strikes, destroys his home, and removes his innocence as he understands what the world is really like. Seeing this, he makes a declaration that he will take out every last Titan. Of all the characters in the show, he's the one with the most guts. He's hot-blooded and will stop at nothing to build up his strength and skill so he can take out the threat at large. Even though he might get hurt or lose people in the process, all he does is use that as more reason to achieve his goal, no matter how traumatic it is for him. This show was hand-drawn by Wit Studio, a subsidiary of the famous production IG, most famous for Ghost in the Shell, Eden of the East, and the Oranishi scene from Kill Bill. And considering the fact that this is technically a new studio, it makes it even more surprising on how good this show looks. It has incredibly detailed characters, fluid motion, really strong lighting, and the use of something called omnidirectional mobility gear, or ODM gear. These sequences involving the ODM gear are some of the most beautiful sequences I've ever seen in animation. The animators really do an excellent job at combining 3D backgrounds with 2D animation. And believe me, that is a very difficult thing to do well. As far as the cinematography goes, this show was directed by one Tetsuro Araki, best known for a little show called Death Note, in which he manages to turn writing into a journal into one of the most epic things ever. Needless to say, he brings his A game here. Dramatic angles, sweeping shots, incredible one-ers, and really strong dynamic lighting really add to the style and atmosphere of this show. Add to that incredible looking backgrounds and really unnerving designs for the Titans, and you have a show that's just a spectacle to behold. The soundtrack to this show was composed by one Hiroyuki Sawano, best known for the Kill la Kill and Blue Exorcist soundtracks. And well, how do I put this lightly? The music is freaking amazing. Bombastic orchestrations, German choirs, slight techno, and really great songs like Reluctant Heroes really add to the atmosphere and intensity of this show. The music is such a great compliment to the series, but the music doesn't even need the animation. The music on its own is fantastic. If there was a problem with it, then it would probably be that for a 25 episode show, it does have a rather small number of songs, so you will be hearing the same ones a lot, but frankly, the music is just so good that you won't even care. I would rather have a few really good songs than a couple of average ones, but that's just me. Like most anime, Attack on Titan has opening theme songs, which are also amazing. These two songs were done by Linked Horizon, and the songs are nothing less than hyping. It also has ending themes that are more relaxed than the openings and allow you to catch your breath after the episode ends. Which, by the way, you're gonna have to do a lot of. Frankly, I watch them every time, no matter how many times I watch the episodes. So much so, that I actually have both of the openings on my phone, and I feel no shame for it. Finally, there's the voice acting. I have to say, when I first heard the English dub for this show, I hated it. I watched it in Japanese when it first came out, and hearing it in English, it just sounded so bad, like I despised it. But I decided to try it again, and have an open mind this time, and to my shock, I actually enjoyed the English dub more than the Japanese. I'll let you find your socks that just blew off. It's all great. Bryce Papenbrook, Josh Will as Armin, Matthew Mercer as Levi, the energetic Jessica Calvello as the Titan of Hanji, and one performance in particular I want to mention. In anime, a common stereotype of character is stoic girl. See Rei Ayanami and Yuki Nagato for examples. These are characters basically shown as lifeless dolls. They don't really have any big, strong emotion. And while this might be a very common character, it's a very difficult one to voice. You have to find a way to subdue your voice and emotional output, because you don't want them to sound like they're completely dead-eye. And for that, I have to praise Trina Nishimura for her role as Mikasa. Mikasa is more than just a stoic character, and Trina portrays this to a T. Her performance manages to convey these emotions through very subtle inflections and expressions while sounding natural, and also transitioning excellently to her more intense scenes.
I can do it. What? I'm strong. Real strong. None of you come close. You hear me? I am a warrior. Know this. I have the power to slay all of the Titans that block our path. Even if I have to do it alone. As far as I'm concerned, I am surrounded by a bunch of unskilled, cowardly worms.
In my opinion, out of all the great performances in the show, hers was the best. I know that a lot of people won't watch this show because it's an anime. And that's really a shame, because Attack on Titan is one of those shows that you need to watch. Whether you're an anime fan, you're interested in the genre, or if you detest it altogether, you need to give this show a watch. It's more than just another anime, and it's more than just another TV show. It's something very unique and spectacular. But there is a problem. You know how most stories come to an end? Well, Attack on Titan doesn't really have one. Allow me to explain. So the story is leading up to this crescendo of events, and suddenly something big happens, and the story stops right there. While I am glad they decided to just end it that way and not contrive a tied-up ending, I am left rather disappointed that the show doesn't have a real ending. But that is not going to be an issue. At the time of this video, a second season has been announced for April of 2017, and based on the trailers, we're in for another treat. So, after including all the criteria given and combining with my own enjoyment of the show, I can only give Attack on Titan a best of the best, a rating for only those shows that are the best or too important to ignore. It may have its flaws, sure, but what doesn't, and you need to watch this show just so you can experience it. At the time of this video, this show has been licensed by Funimation and is also available on their website and on Blu-ray and DVD from them. It is also available for legal streaming on Netflix, Hulu, and Crunchyroll, though Funimation is the only place you can watch it in English. For similar shows, I recommend Fullmetal Alchemist 2003 and Brotherhood for their similar plot lines, characters, and themes, just more lighthearted, and my other recommendation is Hellsing Ultimate for its style, similar atmosphere, and for its similar epic scale. And that's it for now. I won't tell you to like or subscribe because that should be of your own volition, and until then, ladies and gentlemen, men and women, children of all ages, enjoy the show.